Every time I post a video about dating, inevitably there is at least one man, usually multiple, in the comments saying, good luck with all your cats. And I just want to address that for a second. I know that your egos are fragile, so I'll try to be gentle when I say this, but it's not an insult to me that you think I'm going to be alone with my cats, because that means I chose to be alone. That means all of the women who are not choosing you are choosing to be alone over you. That means you're so shitty, we would rather be single. Also, this is the first time where women don't need men, and so we're not choosing you. How does it feel to be unwanted and unneeded?
She has the face of someone who's gonna be stuck making these type of posts for a long time. I hope I'm wrong. It's all over her face. I guess this is a way for her to cope.
Honestly, I get why men don't like me. Because I'm just the girl that doesn't give a fuck. Like, you don't text me back? Okay. You don't call me back? Okay. I just don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm not gonna call you a million times. I'm not gonna double text you, triple text you, blow your phone up. I'm not gonna call you and be like, where are you at? I'm not gonna get in my car and run around the city and try to look for you. Like, I just don't care. When I tell you I'm the most unbothered and detached person, like, I don't call it self-awareness, call it self-respect. I don't know what you wanna call it, but like, I just don't fucking care. And that is just the easiest way that I could say it. Like, I am so focused on like my physical, my mental, my money, my mind, trying to figure out a way to get this money by tomorrow. Like, if you don't want to text me back, honestly, babe, I probably won't even notice that our conversation has ended and you haven't responded for 2 to 3 business days. And that's just because, like, when a woman is so focused on getting to her bag and creating a life for herself, they just don't care. Like, I am more worried about creating a life for myself than go finding a man that will provide and create the life for me. I know that's touchy, but yeah, like, when women actually give a fuck about becoming something and have goals, aspirations, and dreams, they're not going to chase. They don't care. I don't care. Don't call me back. Don't text me back. It's really fine, to be quite honest. Like, I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to call. I'm not going to text. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm not.
Well, she made that clear. Thanks for letting us know, too. So now we know not to care. I mean, at least for the first few weeks when we're trying to get what we want. But then we'll move on. I mean, we only want to deal with people that care. We'll find a way to deal with the women that don't care. And men will still find a way to get what they want out of that situation. Most likely casual. And then skedaddle.
What do you bring to the table? No, I built the table. I can destroy the table. I can demolish the table.
Bro, the way she said that, I am not taking that lightly. That is for sure.
Anyway, so I was talking to this guy like 5 years ago, and I said that to him, and I said, I expect the man to pay for everything, and then he's like, well, what do you bring to the table? And I remember, like, I blocked him, who cares? But the next day, I actually unblocked him because I decided, like, I kind of want to talk to him and explain to him. So I unblocked him and I talked to him and I said, like, I don't like that you said, like, what do I bring to the table? And the reason why is because if you don't see what all value I bring to the table, if any at all, then that means that you don't see me as someone that's worth it or valuable to you. And it's funny because I recently saw a TikTok of another guy talking about this, where he says, like, when guys buy, like, the fucking Nike shoes, like, they don't get the Nike shoes and bring it to the register and say, like, what value do these shoes bring to my life? Like, why should I buy these right now? You know, they don't ask that, dude. They just buy it, you know? So it's the same exact thing. So it's a really good filter, because if you say right away, like, I expect to be provided for, and then he says, like, oh, why should I do that? Then you already know, like, he doesn't value you. Like, in his mind, he cannot see the value in you. So that means like you're gonna waste your time if you even date him because he doesn't value you. So it's a good filter to like already say that. But anyway, what happened next is I said that like, yeah, so if like you ever wanted to date me, I would not pay for anything, just so you know. And then he changed his mind and he said, you know what? I would be willing to do that for you then. Like, what do you want me to buy you then? Like, what would you want from me? And I was like, okay, well, we should start small. How about tomorrow you can buy me my coffee, you know, $5, you know, coffee, whatever. And then he fucking sent me $40 right there. And I was like, okay, dude, like, you don't have to do all that. Like, it was just a coffee. And then he's like, I will buy the coffee fucking 2 weeks in advance, like right there. And he like gave me the $40. But, it's just funny because if you put your standard right there and he's like right there, if he actually likes you, he will show up to like where you want him to be at. Like he will show up if he actually likes you. And that guy actually did like me, but he was just like confused. He was like consuming like some podcasts that like say like, oh, like what do you bring to the table type shit. Like, okay, dude. But I explained it to him and like he understood it and then he changed his mind. So that was interesting. That happened. I ended up blocking him again because I started talking to someone else. Well, at the time I was talking to like 5 people. Like if you're in the dating scene, I'm a big believer of you should be talking to like 5 people at the same time. Who cares? And then you shouldn't commit to anyone unless he's providing for you. So the guy that I ended up choosing during that time, he fully provided for me. I talked about this in my last video. Like he bought me this car and he also bought me a house and he paid for every single bill. Like everything I'm wearing, like he bought like my fucking Ugg boots and shit. Like he bought everything. He paid for everything. It was like literally 99.1. Like, you know how they have like 50-50? It was like 99.1. Who cares? But, yeah, anyway, men are more capable than we think. I say this every time, like, they are more capable than we think. All you have to do is put the standard right there so that he knows it, and then he will either reach it or he won't. And if he doesn't, then who cares?
Now, me personally, I feel like there's still a way you can find out what someone brings to the table, in quotes, right, so to speak, without actually using that sentence or that question. I feel like it's a bit of a turnoff in the situation to the other person. I mean, that's just me personally. I just feel like it's like a weird thing to be bringing up. But I do feel like there's a way you could arrive to what you're trying to get. No, as far as the answers, you could still ask that question in a different way without phrasing it that way, you know? So, I mean, that's just my perspective on it. On to the next point, man. You cannot compare shoes to human intentions and trying to find out what someone's about. Like, that's the worst comparison you could make. We already know what to expect when we go to buy shoes. The purpose of those. It's just different styles. That's it, man. You cannot compare that to humans. Come on. But asking this type of question is how you find out the possible value of a person. You just don't come in off the bat knowing what this person is going to bring. Just giving them the value that they haven't earned. You have to kind of see where their head is at. And in that process, the value begins to build. Like, all right, I like where her head is at. I like how this person is thinking. And I like the direction of how they think. And that's what builds the value. You have to ask the questions. You just don't show up and just automatically assume someone has the values. You have to ask the questions to then arrive to that.
How you react when he pulls away tells that man everything he needs to know about your self-worth. So let's be honest. So when men pull away, most of us do what? We panic, right? All of a sudden, we're decoding every text message like we're in the freaking CIA. And let's be real. Sometimes when he takes way too long to get back to us, we lie to ourselves. Maybe he's a little busy. Maybe he's overwhelmed. Well, like his aunt's cat just died 2 years ago, so he's definitely stressed about that. No, that man is showing you who he is, and girl, he's a loser. And you just stop being convenient for him. So when he pulls away, your reaction decides exactly how that story is going to play out. And if you chase him, you are letting that man know that you're willing to tolerate uncertainty. But instead, if you pause, breathe, and match his energy, you're going to remind him that you're not competing for his attention. Men remember the women who stay composed under pressure, and they pay attention to the ones who don't crumble when he starts turning hot and cold. That woman's calm silence makes him question everything. Because while he's testing your patience like he's training for the Formula One, you're quietly in the driver's seat deciding whether he's even worth your peace. So the next time he pulls back, girl, don't even flinch. Keep that energy to yourself. let that distance tell you everything you need to know. This is how you're never going to be an option ever again. Instead, you'll be the standard. So if you're tired of doing emotional gymnastics for half-effort men, follow me for more mindset shifts or book a one-on-one call so we can rewrite your dating patterns for good.
She said all this, and in the comments they said, didn't chase and never heard from him again.
Men only respond to silence. Okay? They don't respond to paragraphs. They don't respond to feelings. They don't respond to accountability. They don't respond to your vulnerability. They respond to silence, and they respond to consequences. They respond to loss. So if you have to communicate, be silent.
What men are these? The dudes I know, man, they love silence. Men just enjoy that, man. That's the ultimate peace. Please be silent. That is exactly what we want. And no, there's not going to be any consequences. We're not playing these games, all right?
So the list of why I'm single continues to grow. So I'm on the phone getting to know this guy, and he's like, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, I'm in the kitchen making dinner. And he's like, that's perfect. And I'm like, well, why is that perfect? And he's like, well, because that's where women belong. And I guess he took my silence for confusion because he's like, women belong in the kitchen. And I'm like, okay, so what? And he's like, if we were married and I came home every night after work, would you have a home, like, hot, fresh meal ready for me on the table? And I'm like, didn't you also say, like, you want your wife to work? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so you want your wife to work, come home, and then make you a fresh meal? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? And he's like, what do you mean, what am I going to do? I'm like, well, if the wife's going to work and then coming home to make dinner, you have to do something. I'm like, are you going to wash the dishes afterwards? And he's like, well, don't you wash the dishes in the kitchen? I'm like, yeah, I would think that's where you'd wash them. And he's like, well, no, because again, that's where women belong. Why would I be there? And I'm like, okay, so then you must be going outside after dinner. And he's like, well, why would I go outside? I'm like, because that's where the trash belongs.
These things are brought up and talked about in the beginning phase. There's no need to get to that point. You shouldn't have to get here if there's an agreement between the both of you.
Men are like so funny, you know? They'll ask me like how old I am, and I'll tell them 29, and then they'll be like, do you have any kids? And I'll be like, no, not yet. And then they'll be like, oh, like it's the shock of the freaking century. And then they'll be like, well, you don't want to be an old mom. You better get started. Huh. Yeah. They're just like so funny, you know?
It may sound a bit disrespectful, especially in the delivery, but really there is no lies being told. It's just an honest and actually true perspective.
We're told to lower our standards, and then when we find a man who does us wrong, we're told to pick better men. It can't be both, but both times, it's the woman's fault. Stop it right now. This is exactly the point I was trying to make in my last video. And don't hear me wrong, I am not a raging feminist. I'm not someone who's going to sit here and say it is always the man's fault. I do not feel that way at all. However, in this case, it's often women are blamed for the mistakes of bad men. All men are not bad men. All men are not going to hurt you. However, there are bad men and bad women who don't know how to be emotionally mature in a relationship. And often it feels like whoever is getting done wrong in a relationship is told that they need to pick a better partner. But simultaneously, there might be some people in their life that have told them in the past that they're expecting too much and to lower their standards. So how can it be both? It can't be. And this is a bigger issue of how single people are talked to, okay? And I'm not only talking about women, but I think it can apply to both men and women. And it can be infuriating. And I'm not trying to sit here and harp on it, but it is the truth. So I'm vocalizing it in case someone else needs to hear it. Okay, bye.
And I know I've said it a few times, but it's the truth. It's the facts. It's both sides. We all have work to do. No one comes into a situation knowing exactly what to do. And on top of the flaws we have as human beings, we have to work and do certain things to make ourselves ready for these partners we're trying to find. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of redos, a lot of tries, a lot of fails. You have to know what works, how someone feels, their values, their heart. All this goes into it. It's not easy to find the right partners. Some people luck out as soon as they find each other. But for a lot of us, man, we're going to have to go through this. And hopefully we don't get too old while we're still trying to search and find these people. As long as we realize that we're all flawed and there's work to be done on either side, we can then start to get to where we need to get. Hopefully it's not too late for a lot of us. But you let me know what you think in the comments section. This has been it for this one. Till the next one.